So for tight ends, basically what I did is I went to ESPN's Fantasy Power Rankings and looked at their that's how I did all these lists is so I could use the names and look at the stats and stuff. And then on every other list, I made a unique list compared to theirs. But for tight ends, I kind of just pulled a lot of it straight from.
Yeah.
Because tight ends are not they're important, but they're not the most important thing. Like if you get one good tight end, you're pretty set for the whole time. And if you need another one, there's always another one.
I do not go out of my way to draft a tight end.
Right. Yeah. I pick them before quarterbacks, but only because you should. And quarterbacks are less important than tight ends. But
Rob always goes way too early, so I never get him.
Yeah, Rob Gronkowski's you're probably going to see him going in the first round to. Was it Haley's probably going to take him in ours?
Yeah,
she
I have
always
a Patriots fan that always.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I might just pick him to piss her off.
Yeah, she always picks Tom, and I normally pick Tom Brady, so she kind of gets annoyed. Or Aaron Rodgers, I think she's got a thing for him too. We're calling you out, Haley. I hope you see this.
She's definitely not gonna watch this.
Nope.
But I don't even know. I wouldn't pick Rob's obviously.
Yeah, Rob's both of our number ones. I feel like that's obvious.
He's not gonna be on a fantasy football team, and I can promise you that because he might get injured.
Yeah, I think it'd be my third or fourth one on the list until that's who I would pick. There's good tight ends, and I have some that I'm favoring. So we'll just go through this. Let's run through this. So Rob Gronkowski, obvious. Tom Brady's going to throw to him a lot. He's going to get touches in the end zone.
In a perfect year where he doesn't get hurt, he'll be number
If he could play 12 games, I'd be happy. 12 games is a good number. He's not missing too many. It means he might have sat 1 or 2 weeks out, maybe 3. That kind of stuff. I'm okay with that as long as it's not towards the end of the season, because that screws you.
Yeah.
Because playoffs. So
and honestly, I like Rob. He's
good.
Animal.
He's a typical frat guy. Russell's best friend. Okay, so we have the same number one, and it's pretty much the same reason. It's the obvious number one tight end in the league right now.
We have the same 1 through
5.
Yeah.
No. Your 5 is different. Okay, so number
1
two.
through 4,
Number 2, we both have Travis Kelce. He's from Kansas City, and it's because Travis Kelce is the second best tight end in the league. He's going to get touches. He's Gronkowski, but with concussions instead of knee or elbow issues.
He might honestly get the most touches, receptions on that team as a tight end.
Yeah, maybe.
So he might be the number 1 receiver at Kansas City. I don't know. That's just talking about
There's a chance. He's got to stay healthy though. He's got the same risks as Gronkowski does. So it's risk reward with him. He's gonna have good games. The games he plays in, he's gonna do good. He's gonna get.
I've had him a lot.
He's gonna get
40 point games.
Yeah, he'll have a touchdown most of the time. He'll be tickling 100 yards. He'll be near 10 receptions. He's got good stats. It's just when he gets hurt, it really sucks.
I feel he gets a lot of deep balls in the middle. Which might be why he has so many concussions.
Yes,
but
that's exactly why. That's exactly why. Because he's not afraid.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 3, we both have Zach Ertz, and it's because Carson Wentz is his quarterback.
Good quarterback.
Yeah, and Zach Ertz has got good hands. He doesn't suck. He doesn't suck. He's good. And if I had to pick a tight end, I think he would be my first option out of these so far.
Me too. Has he been injured yet? They have?
I have no idea. I'm not knowledgeable in tight end knowledge.
Honestly, my first 2 would be him, and then spoiler alert, our number 4 is Greg Olsen.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't just make our list with him as number 1 too. It kind of seems hypocritical at this point.
Yeah, we literally he went to ESPN and basically just went 1 through 10, and I
changed a couple of them. Don't you dare say I just copied theirs.
Okay, I literally was even lazier, and I Googled top 10 tight ends and clicked the first website, and I don't even think it was ESPN. But
it's probably Bleacher Report.
I don't think so. Some fantasy football website.
SB Nation. The Ringer.
But yeah, so that's our top 4 are literally the same.
Yeah, Greg Olsen.
Good.
He should be a lot of people's number 1 tight end choice, in my opinion.
Cam throws to him a lot.
Yeah, Cam's going to throw a lot to him. He's good.
And they got rid of Kelvin Benjamin, so he's going to be even more of a target.
He's got more options. He's going to be Cam's best friend. He's going to be scrambling a lot in his time and be oh, God, there's Greg. Got to throw to him.
Yeah, I don't think the Panthers' offensive line is that great.
Well, it wasn't great last season, but who knows, this season can be different.
Anytime you got a bad offensive line and a quarterback scrambling, running backs and tight ends are going to be huge.
Yeah, because it's the high routes. Yeah, Greg Olsen, solid number 1 pickup for a tight end. But we can discuss this more a little later. But tight end should be waited on. Like, you should not in the first 3 rounds should you pick a tight end unless you've got some weird fetish.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 5, I have Kyle Rudolph. And it's because I think Kyle Rudolph is nice. He's a good solid number 1 tight end. He should be starting in most leagues on at least one team, obviously.
Is he in Minnesota?
Yeah, he's in Minnesota. Yeah. He's got Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins loves his tight ends, dude. He loves them. So should definitely be looking to pick him up. If Greg Olsen, Zach Ertz are gone, and you don't want to pick Robin Council or Travis Kelce,
injury prone.
Yeah, Kyle Rudolph is good. So what about you? What's your number 5?
Jimmy Graham.
Why?
Because he was number 5 on that list.
Why would you pick Jimmy Graham? Give me a reason.
I would pick Jimmy Graham if it was really late and I'm like, oh God, you got to draft a tight end, and Zach Ertz, Greg Olsen, Travis Kelce, probably Kyle Rudolph too. Honestly, if they're gone, I would pick up Jimmy Graham. And okay, so I didn't do this with like all of mine, like receivers, tight end, receivers or running backs or quarterbacks. Like I took time. It was actually like my top 10. This I'm pretty sure just went off of last year's fantasy football points.
Yeah, that's pretty much what preseason stuff is.
Because I know the ESPN one, it factored in like if they played last year, like they had rookies in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was literally just like their points from last year, like total, and how it was listed.
How they're expected to do.
So he was hitting number 5 at that list.
Okay, so my number 6 is it says Kelly Walker, but it's Delaney Walker. That's I was wondering. I was like, that's not right. Okay, so Delaney Walker from Tennessee. Mariota's gonna have a good year. He's probably gonna take a step forward, hopefully, like for his sake at least. He's a good quarterback. He's got a good arm. He can run. He's the perfect hybrid quarterback, you know.
Hopefully he'll take a step forward.
Well, I mean,
Houston's division.
Yeah, that's true. I guess. Spoiler: I think Tennessee sucks this year, but I think Mariota's probably gonna have a good season. It's probably like a defensive issue or something. You know, like they just.
I mean, if he's not broken.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
But yeah, Delaney Walker. He's trustworthy tight end. Mariota probably need to throw to him a few times scrambling, that kind of stuff. He'll probably get end zone targets. I can't name the running back off the top of my head.
Oh, is it one of the Alabama running backs? Is it Henry?
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to say.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think their running back's going to be a massive factor. And they don't have great receivers. There's no like top talent. They probably got a good core. You know, they probably got a few good receivers. There's just none that stick out. So like he's probably going to get quite a few targets. He's a good, solid tight end to pick up if he's available and you can't think of anyone else to grab. What about you? You got Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
Who's that?
I don't know. Can we pull it up so I can tell you who it is?
I knew you didn't know. That's why I wanted to ask. Okay. Delaney Walker. Or no,
Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
For the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
He probably got a lot of touches because everyone was hurt on the Giants last year. I'm assuming.
That's true.
Well, I'm assuming he's still going to be a big target. I mean, it's Eli Manning. He's going to throw the ball a lot.
Mm-hmm. He's probably going to do better than last season.
Yeah. I assume he'll take a step forward.
Right. Last season was his first.
So sophomore season.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
I think he'll do better.
Evan Ingram, dropping knowledge on him.
Wow, this guy's a year younger than me.
Doesn't that make you feel like shit?
Yeah, look what I'm doing and look what he's doing.
I hate that.
Yeah, it's the worst. Okay, we'll avoid that now. So I have Evan Ingram at number 7.
I'm glad I told you about him.
I'm glad, yeah. But yeah, Evan, I mean, from what I just looked at him, he seems like he's probably going to be good. He's got Eli Manning quarterback, so it's always good. He's always been nice to his receivers. He had...
It's always a good thing to go off quarterbacks for tight ends.
Yeah.
Maybe even more than receivers.
No, it matters more for receivers because tight ends are more like a little blanket for each quarterback. So like, it
Well,
depends on
especially
which
if they spread the
quarterback.
ball around, like Eli,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Drew Brees,
Mhm.
or like
If you scramble at all,
like
tight ends become a
Russell
factor.
Wilson.
Mhm. Yeah.
Who's Seattle's tight end?
I don't know.
Wow.
It was Jimmy Graham, who I have at number 8.
Jimmy Graham. Oh my God, he was my number 5. See, there was reasons he was there.
I have the only reason is I was okay with putting Jimmy Graham at 8. I switched up my 8 through 10, a little different than the actual list.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to apologize to whoever's gonna watch this that I didn't put more time into this.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I picked Jimmy Graham because he has Aaron Rodgers as quarterback, and he's just inherently going to get passes thrown to him, and there's a chance he's in the end zone.
Wait, who's at Seattle?
I don't know. That's why I said I don't know.
Oh, I thought you said Jimmy Graham.
No, Jimmy Graham's at Green Bay.
No, well, even more of a reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
I knew that too.
At number 7, you had Delaney Walker, probably for the same reasons I did, and then at number 8, you have Kyle Rudolph.
Yep.
Which is incredibly low for that list. Whoever made that list is a silly person.
It wasn't like, I think it was literally just like their output for last year.
Kyle Rudolph should be higher. Okay,
I mean, he didn't have the points last year
whatever,
to be higher.
No, stop it. You stop right now.
I mean, I'm just telling you, it was a list of what they did on the production of last year.
Okay, so number 9, I have Trey Burton, and I have...
That's my number 9 too.
Yeah, our number 9 in Tennis name. I have Jordan Reed at number 10.
Yep, same. So do we just want to wrap up the tight ends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much to say about tight ends. You should get a solid one. They're never going to really have blow up games unless you pick up Robin like every 5th game is like he has 2 touchdowns or whatever, you know, because Tom Brady just kind of goes off every now and then.
They kind of always fall off after the top 5 tight ends. We were talking about that, like, because I texted him, I was like, "Do you really want me to do the top 10 for the tight ends?" He was
Yes.
like, "Obviously."
Yes.
I was like, "Okay."
But it's only so we can like have a list of 10 tight ends people could see.
I mean, it makes
and also
sense.
for the graphics I've been doing that you've obviously been paying attention to, viewer.
Oh, that is true. I haven't seen those now.
Yeah.
All right, quarterbacks.
Yep. Quarterbacks. Okay.
Quarterbacks.
So quarterbacks. Yeah. All right. So we both have. I mean, the first one's obvious. I feel like in every fantasy league, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. And it's because Aaron Rodgers just he chunks the ball. He goes for touchdowns. They never really have a reliable running back. Neither of us put a Green Bay running back in the top 10. So that's 15 plus running backs at least. Where he's not even a Green Bay running back isn't even in the top 10.
They still had a really fat guy. Who was it?
It used to be Eddie Lacy.
Yeah, he's so
Let
big.
me look. Let me see if there's any on the list that are Green Bay.
Oh, we're at 20. And I haven't
I'm
seen
at
one yet.
30. He's not. There's not a Green Bay one. Aaron Jones suspended.
No. There's a GB. Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams questionable. Did anyone have a healthy running back?
Not according to
Wow.
ESPN.
Okay. So yeah,
More of a reason for Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers probably going to be slinging the ball. He's coming off of a whole year of injury, so he's probably itching to
Probably
play.
pissed, honestly.
They're probably going to do good this season. They're going to win a lot of games, I feel like, and it's going to be because of their passing game. Throwing to like Devontae Adams, so on and so forth. Like they're going to have a good year. So yeah, Aaron Rodgers is obvious. I feel like.
Yeah, he's my number 1, so we just kind of talked about it together.
So number 2, this is where we start to differ. We actually made our own list, unlike the tight ends that you saw. So number 2, I have Carson Wentz, and it's because last season, really, before he got injured, Carson Wentz was a freak. He was thrown all over the place. There's no way he didn't get better through the offseason. Just knowledge, breaking down film, learning from his previous season. His team didn't get any worse. They didn't lose big pieces. He's got a solid tight end. He's got a solid running back, which I feel like we glossed over. I think it's I can't remember who it is anymore. God, why can't we remember this crap, Russell?
Because we're very unprepared for everything we do.
Really?
Unprepared.
It's J.J. Yes, it's J.J., the old Titans running back. When he was on the Titans, he was young. He had that explosive year. But yeah, J.J. is really good. So they're going to have solid output on the offensive side, and Carson Wentz is probably going to be the focal point for a lot of that. He can scramble when he needs to, so there's always that off chance he runs for 10 yards or whatever, so that's an easy point.
Yeah.
He throws long passes, that's bonus points for PPR leagues. So a lot of reasons to pick Carson Wentz early, quarterback-wise, not in the draft.
Yeah.
What about you? Who you got number 2?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Why is he so high?
Because Tom Brady, he's gonna get touchdown passes, so that's gonna be a lot.
Very low pick percentage. He throws like 5 a year.
Exactly. Because they will be throwing the ball. It's not like situation with Blake Bortles. They're gonna be like, please don't, please hand it off.
Yes.
He's gonna be throwing the ball. It's PPR.
He controls that offense for the most part.
You get 1 point every 10 yards. He throws a lot of deep balls. I don't really know.
A lot of their touchdowns come from passing, so that's easy 6 points every time.
Yeah. I don't really know. Like, you should know why Tom Brady would be a high pick.
I mean, he's just Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's Tom Brady is the exact reason. He's like whiskey. I mean, I think he just gets better with age.
Wow, that's a way to go.
I didn't want to say wine because wine sucks.
That was a good. That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 3, I have Deshaun Watson. Might be a little Texan biased coming out, but I think he's gonna have a good year. Like he's a good hybrid quarterback, and when I say hybrid, I mean he can run and pass very well. He's got enough weapons on the outside, like DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller, etc., to use to throw deep, have easy over the middle passes, get 10 plus yards of pass, that kind of stuff. I see a lot of highfalutin offense coming out. And they don't have a bad running back. They've got Deontay Foreman. They've got Lamar Miller. Like they've got solid running backs that can run on the outside and the inside. So like their offense is pretty well rounded in comparison to a lot of these last seasons the Texans have had. They have a real quarterback now, and I think Bill O'Brien's itching to chunk the ball.
Bill O'Brien is a quarterback guy.
He's apparently.
Yeah.
When he gets a good quarterback, he's a quarterback guru.
Yeah. So am I going into mine?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Matthew Stafford. Maybe not like great quarterback,
right?
But for fantasy football, he's an outstanding quarterback.
Yes.
He puts up like crazy numbers.
He chunks it. He's got a huge arm.
Yeah, and he'll play hurt. Like he was mic'd up one time, messed his shoulder up, and like still was chunking. Like he threw like a 60-yard touchdown pass. So you don't have to really worry about him sitting. Pretty much up there. Like I've had Matthew Stafford. I put him up there pretty much just because of past experience. I didn't even like.
Yeah, I've drafted him a lot. He's helped me out a lot of leagues like over the years.
I've had him multiple years, and he's given me multiple like 40, 50 point games. Like
when he goes off, he goes up. But what the downside? He does have a very big downside because when he throws picks,
interceptions,
he throws them in a flurry.
Yeah,
he'll get three a game. It's really scary.
But fantasy football, fantasy football quarterback. He's my number 3.
Mm-hmm. He's going to get a lot of yards for you. He's going to get touchdowns.
Yep.
Who's he throw to? Like Golden Tate's his number 1 right now?
I think so.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that great, though. Yeah. Okay, so
He had to draft somebody.
They probably did, and we just didn't pay attention. Okay, so number 4, I have Tom Brady. And I put Tom Brady at number 4 only because... Okay, so the upside for Tom Brady is... about where he will be every week, if that makes sense. So, like, he's going to be super consistent. He's going to probably get the same amount of points each week. And every now and then he'll probably have, like, a really high production rate. Like, he'll probably get he'll probably average, like, 30 points a game and then get, like, 50 every now and then, you know? Like, he'll have a big week whenever they destroy somebody. It's probably normally how it goes. I pick Tom Brady in most of the situations I can. Like, I pick Tom Brady early. But if I had to rank them and like who's going to get the most points and stuff like that, if that's what you're going by, I would put him at like number 4-ish. Only because I think Deshaun Watson's going to have a big year, and I think Carson Wentz is going to have a big year again, and Aaron Rodgers is number 1. So I put him
Tom Brady's just a really safe pick.
Yeah, like number 4 is a good consistent pick for somebody. Like number 4 doesn't mean you're bad. I mean, obviously, like he's still like a top quarterback in the league. Obviously, I'm not saying he's not. I'm just for fantasy reasons, I would put him at like number 4-ish.
Number 4 is Matt Ryan. Obvious reasons. Julio Jones. They just picked up Calvin Ridley, which you'll see later. I'm going to talk about how he's probably a sleeper that you should maybe pay attention to.
Well, you spoiled it. They don't have to listen now.
Oh, true. Don't turn a podcast off.
He doesn't know how to do shows, people. That's why it's an experience.
This is an experience, but it has a lot to do why I put Matt Ryan there. I mean, he's got weapons. He's going to throw to Freeman and Foreman, too, out of the backfield.
Yep. Wow, I did not put Devontae Freeman in my freaking list for top 10 running backs. That definitely is an amendment.
He should be I don't know. He probably should be a 9 or 10. My 9 or 10. Yeah. But anyways, I've had him a lot in fantasy football. He's never disappointed me.
honorable mention Devontae Freeman.
Yes, and also what I was going, Atlanta doesn't have the best defense, so literally how they win games and they get into the playoffs because they put up ridiculous numbers.
Right. Yeah. It's just
You'll see a 50-point game out of them this year.
It's all shootouts.
So
especially in that division when they're gonna have the Panthers are supposed to have a good defense, and when they have to play the Saints are the exact same team.
So
it's gonna be a lot of points.
The same reason Matthew Stafford, you're gonna see really high numbers from Matt Ryan and really high numbers when you fantasy football games. So
and if Matt Ryan's having a good year, he's not gonna throw many picks. Just like when the same reason you would pick Tom Brady is the same reason you would pick Matt Ryan on a good year, but he has had bad years in the past where he throws way too many picks.
And he's pissed because he doesn't have a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah,
and he was a really good team.
He was really close. He blew that 21-3 lead or whatever, 28-3.
Yeah. So
okay, number 5, right? 4. Okay, so number 5, I put Drew Brees, and it's for the reasons we were just talking about. That team is just like we were talking about with Atlanta, is a high production. They're gonna throw the ball a lot. The same reason you pick Michael Thomas as a number 5 receiver. Drew Brees is up there as a number 5 quarterback.
I have him at number 5, so we just kind of talk about them together.
Do you actually? Oh, okay. Yeah. So what about you? Why number 5 for it?
He's definitely. I said earlier with the receivers, if you pick up a New Orleans receiver, he's probably going to touch the ball.
Yeah.
It's because Drew Brees just sprays the ball all over the field.
Right.
And
he's one of those quarterbacks that's easy to pair him up with a receiver in a draft. So if you can pick Michael Thomas and Drew Brees in a draft, it's pretty great.
Which is dangerous because they have the same bye week, so
that is dangerous. But it's the upside is very up. I used to do it with Calvin Johnson and Matt Stafford, and that was crazy. I would score 150 points between those two guys.
I think Kirby did it with Odell and
Eli, probably.
Yeah, and it worked out one year. It wasn't last year.
It's a good strat. If you're gonna have a backup quarterback and at least one backup receiver anyway, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I've done it with Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson, and it worked out really well. So
it's great. Okay, so number 6.
Just watch your bye week, guys. Watch your bye weeks.
Yeah, bye weeks.
Sure.
Bye weeks are a bitch.
Don't draft too many people with the same bye weeks. Number 6.
I have Cam Newton. Yep. Okay. So I have Cam Newton, number 6. It's mostly because, I don't know. He's, they normally score a lot. He runs plenty. He scores enough touchdowns on his own to, make up for points. He's going to run it in a few times. I don't know. He probably does it, once a week, right? He scores a running touchdown. He
for sure has at least a couple of first downs in 1 week.
Yeah, he puts up plenty of rushing yards. He's a running back on his own on stats wise, right? And he's gonna chunk the ball. They're gonna score touchdowns. So either he's gonna run it in or he's gonna throw it in. That's the two options they have most of the time in the red zone.
If they play Buffalo, he'll probably go off that game. Did you see him talking crap to Kelvin Benjamin?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
He was trying to talk to him, and Kelvin Benjamin was like, "I ain't having this."
Yeah.
Okay, so 6 for you is who?
Gotta count. Hold on. Oh, Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of reason as kind of a mix between Drew Brees and Cam Newton. How you're talking about it. Russell Wilson will run, but I do think he's a little bit better of a quarterback than Cam Newton.
Okay.
Just the accuracy and as far as I feel like he'll probably have more passing yards.
Okay.
Russell Wilson, number 6. That's all I really have to say.
I have Russell Wilson at number 7, funny enough. And I have him there, same reasons as Cam Newton, kind of. He's going to run, but he's not going to run as much as Cam, so he'll run when he needs to. But he looks to pass first, so...
Kind of like a Drew Brees.
Yeah, and I can't really... I don't think we named who their running back... Yeah, I don't know who their running back is. But it's no one notable, so it's going to be up to him a lot to get those first downs, get those big yard plays.
He's a receiver.
We don't know enough. We should stop asking questions about that kind of stuff. We should just let it happen. But yeah, Russell Wilson, number 7. He's a solid quarterback. If you're trying to wait and pick up receivers in the draft, and a lot of the quarterbacks already gone, he's a good fallback quarterback to have. Much like I don't have him on my list, but Philip Rivers is a good fallback quarterback. People like that. They're gonna get yards, but they're not gonna be the most consistent. They might throw a few picks every now and then, but gets the job done. Number 7.
Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
Texas fan. He's obviously up there. He's going to have a huge year. Houston's always had weapons. We just finally got the quarterback to get the ball to those weapons. He's pretty. I would say he's a pretty smart quarterback. Takes care of the ball, so you're not going to get too many. Because that's obviously negative points. It differs between leagues, but I don't know how much ours is. Shoot, what was I gonna say? He's gonna run the ball when he has to, so he's gonna pick up first downs there. Yeah. That's 2 points, 10 yards plus 1 for the first down. So Deshaun Watson, he honestly, I could have put him higher. I don't know why I did, because I have a Deshaun Watson jersey. Like, I love Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I was about to ask that. I was like, why didn't you put him?
I guess I was just a little nervous because it is sophomore season. Knock on wood. Hopefully nothing goes wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's technically injury prone with like the same injury in his knees like 4 times now.
Yeah, I mean, he tore his ACL not even scrimmaging. It was a walkthrough. I mean, he was just running a bootleg and he tore his ACL. Mm-hmm. So that's honestly really freaking scary. But
it is.
You know, I wish him the best. I think he's a great athlete, and I want him to do good. Mm-hmm. And he's my number 7.
Okay, so I think you have him way too far down your list, honestly.
Whoa.
I think you should put him.
That's literally just because of the ACL.
I know. It's just he's got DeAndre Hopkins. He's gonna chunk the ball.
No.
Anyways, so number 8, I have Kirk Cousins, and it's because. Kirk Cousins is in Minnesota now, and I think his receiving core is going to be good. Like, he's got Stephon Diggs, he's got Adam Thielen, he's got a lot of people to throw to. So I think he'll be just fine. He's a good quarterback to fall back on, just like 7 through 10 are good fallback quarterbacks, in my opinion. Like 1 through 6 should be your first options, and then 7 through whatever should be your fallbacks, right? In my opinion, at least. So I think Kirk Cousins, solid fallback quarterback. He's going to get good points. He's not going to throw a ton of picks. He's a good game manager, much like Alex Smith. He's very similar quarterbacks. He doesn't throw downfield too often, but he can. Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen can definitely go get those things.
Which, I mean, once he gets the ball to them, he's still going to get the yards that they run it to.
Right.
Stephon Diggs can run after the catch almost better than anybody.
So, yeah, Kirk Cousins feels like a solid pick who's going to consistently get you points where you don't have to worry about your quarterback doing good or bad, you know? One of those kind of guys. What about you, number 8?
I have Carson Wentz. He would be higher if he didn't tear his ACL. Kind of how, like, for all the reasons Caleb said, is why I put Carson Wentz there. But it's so scary. Like, what I was just talking about Deshaun Watson. It's so scary when an athlete, like he tore his ACL, and you don't know how he's going to come back from that. Obviously, like, I don't know if y'all have ever been injured before, but just like after a huge injury like that, especially after surgery, just like planning with your knee, like there's a ton of there's been a ton of people that haven't come back the same after an injury like that.
I mean, causes a lot of stress.
Like,
stress on the
if
knees.
he's nervous about planting his knee, I don't know which one it is, but I mean that could definitely affect his throwing.
100%.
It'd have it short or whatever and throw an interception. So I have him dropped. I mean, it's probably a safe pick. I imagine him coming back well.
Yeah.
But I do have him dropped a lot because of that.
I think any of these quarterbacks in our top 10 are probably going to be safe picks.
Oh, yeah, for
It
sure.
just depends on, like, preference, who you want, if you want to combo your receivers / running backs, you know.
Bye weeks play a huge because, like, if you have a receiver, if you have 2 receivers, or a running back and a receiver that have the same bye week, don't pick your quarterback up like that.
You don't want to heavy load your team with one team. I did that my first year because I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm gonna pick people I know.
It can even be like I don't know bye weeks, but say if the Raiders and the Texans have bye weeks, I mean just stay away from that.
Right. Yeah. Like just try to. Yeah. It's all about thinking ahead.
Yeah, that's a thing people don't think about and they get screwed. So
yeah, but I mean it's not that as long as if it's I think 3 people on the same bye week is not too much. After 3 people, it becomes a lot because
depends on how important they are, though.
Right? Yeah, that's true. But like,
you should always have
a backup quarterback, and then you should always have like 3 backup receivers or whatever it is, like to fill roles, and then like you should have backup running backs and stuff. So as long as you draft,
I never pick up a backup tight end. I'll just get one off a waiver.
Yeah, I don't either. There's a few positions you don't need to pick up backups.
Kicker and defense.
But yeah. So use number 8, number 9. Number 9 is Matt Stafford for me. And it's pretty much all the same reasons Russell put him for 3, except for I think he's a fallback for me. I would pick I mean, I would obviously pick all the other people listed above him. I guess that's the point of the list.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Matthew Stafford's a reliable pick. Like I was saying, his downside's a little too down for me sometimes. Like he can throw a lot of picks at once. Like he just kind of gets in a bad role, and he throws like a few in a row sometimes. And he's kind of injury prone. He's got shoulder issues and stuff like that. Kind of like him and Sam Bradford are very similar in that way.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like a risky guy to go for if you're going like as your number one quarterback. He'd be a good backup, or if you're picking up a QB late in the draft, perfect.
Which you should be.
Yeah. Like you should wait 6, depending on how many people are in your league. You should probably wait 6 to 7 rounds to draft.
Honestly, if you're drafting right, Aaron Rodgers and all them probably won't be there.
Right,
So
unless
you're
you're thinking ahead of time, like, okay, in the 4th round, I'm picking Aaron Rodgers because I want no one else to have him, like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's kind of something I might do because I'm a douche. But what's your number 9?
Philip Rivers. Just simply because he puts out numbers pretty consistently every year. So
same reason Matt Stafford I would put mine.
Yeah, Philip Rivers is honestly just always a safe pick, especially because he won't be picked up early. So he will be there. So you will be able to draft your receivers and everything. Bertrand drafts them every year.
Yeah, he does.
Philip Rivers never really, I don't know, you won't see like super high numbers out of him like Matthew Stafford, but the numbers will be more consistent. Around probably at 30, I would say.
He always gets like 4,000 plus yards a season. So like he's never slouching.
He's always throwing, so.
Yeah. And he's got Keenan Allen he can throw to out of the backfield, so if you want to combo those two guys, that's not that bad. It's not that bad. If you want to pick Keenan Allen as a number 2, it's not terrible.
It's more of a boring number 9, but it's Philip Rivers. It's a good safe pick, kind of like how we were talking about Tom Brady earlier. Yeah. It's just a safe pick. He also doesn't throw that many picks.
That's true.
So.
Okay, so number 10, I have Matt Ryan. Mostly because
it's kind of far down there.
It is kind of far down there. It's mostly because I don't know. He scares me as picking him as a quarterback. Like if I had to pick late, same situation like I've been saying in life. If I had to pick late and Matt Ryan was on the board, I'd probably take him. If all the other the top.
He might not be there that late, honestly, though.
Yeah, he might not because he's a lot of people hype him up a lot in fantasy, but like for me,
deserved though.
It is. I'm sure, but I don't know. I just don't like picking Matt Ryan. I've always get scared because he can randomly have those terrible weeks, where he just falls off the face of the earth and doesn't do anything. Like he's done that before. Like he's been Matty Cold instead of Matty Ice, right? Like
yeah.
So I don't know. It's apprehension probably on my part. He's probably easy to take as a top 5 quarterback realistically, I guess, but I don't know.
He'll win you games.
Yeah, he'll keep you in games. I don't know if he'll win you games.
For sure.
Like he'll be consistent most of the time, but I don't know. The downside scares me too much.
Yeah. I like kind of stretching when I get kind of towards the end of these lists, and I pick Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. Rex Burkhead explains that stretching thing pretty well.
Yeah. Anyways, Jimmy Garoppolo, for reasons, he's a good quarterback. Is he undefeated as a starter? I think he is undefeated.
I think he went 6-1 at the end of the season or something like that. He lost a game.
It's crazy. He came into San Francisco, crap team before that, and they won 6 games because he was the quarterback. So, he took the... Oh, I just said this. He
Say it. Just say it.
God, Joe messed us up so much.
Just say it.
All right, he went to a crap team. Turned him in. He went 6-1. So I'm assuming he's gonna start out of the gate fresh this year. He looked good. I watched him play.
I think he is the starter. I don't think it's even been a doubt.
Yeah, he is the starter. I watched him play Houston in the preseason game, and he was throwing all over the field. So, I just think he's gonna be a good quarterback. He's probably not gonna get picked up in top 5.
Yeah, he's a good sleeper.
Yeah.
We were talking about sleepers. We've been headed towards that. For me, if I had to pick a quarterback sleeper, I think Jimmy Garoppolo is a really good sleeper. Like, his ups are really up, and he hasn't shown downs yet. Like, he hasn't shown a low.
Think about where he came from, who he played under. He has that type of quarterback play.
He's got pedigree, for sure.
Yeah. He was taught well. I don't know. Can we find stats?
Oh, you want to look at stats? I can find stats. Where's Jimmy Garoppolo?
He's right there at 10. I think.
11.
11.
There you go.
Let's see. I mean, he had 1,500 yards in 7 games, 67 completion.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
He averages. This is kind of interesting. Average is almost 9 yards a throw. So if you're doing PPR, that's basically a first down. So that's another point on top of the 1 point for the reception, and then the 10 yards. So was that 4 or 3 points?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
Okay,
I was
anyway.
reading stats. Sorry.
So I mean, he throws the ball pretty far. So
I guess the downside would be, and I guess this would be what improvement would be, is his touchdown to interception ratio last year was 7-5, which is iffy. That's not great. 5 interceptions, only 7 touchdowns, and in comparison, it's like strikeouts and walks. You want that. You want the touchdowns way higher than you want the picks.
and he threw an interception in preseason, but it wasn't his fault. It was
Right.
tipped off the receiver's hands. So that could because I can't really name any of his receivers.
Let's go look.
So that could, just because who he's throwing to, he might get like interceptions that way.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
So I mean, he's a true he's a true sleeper. Like, he's low. He'll still be there.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a lot of output with points, but I mean,
He's got Pierre Garçon. He's good. Pierre Garçon's good.
yeah, there's like those iffy factors, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess we can get into.
Sleepers.
Yeah, we finished our list. That's all of it. You've seen it all by now. I did fancy, crazy graphics. You're not even gonna believe when you see it. Holy cow!
They already saw all of it. So.
Yeah. That's the joke. But you haven't. Haha. Anyways.
While we're on quarterbacks, Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck's interesting. Okay, yeah, I want to talk about this. Andrew Luck is interesting only because
He
the
hasn't
full
played
year. The full year of injury, we haven't really seen him in full. Go game time situation. I mean, he's probably played preseasons and I didn't watch, but I'm talking about like real game situations. Actual stress, real rushes coming at you, that kind of stuff. But he would be a good quarterback to take if you want a backup and you just want to see how he pans out for a couple of weeks. That's the plan I would do if I wanted to take Andrew Luck. I would pick a quarterback before him that I'm perfectly okay with having and being able to switch out with Andrew Luck. So don't go take Aaron Rodgers because you're never going to pick Aaron Rodgers and take him off for Andrew Luck. That's not a thing. So go pick Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, and then if Andrew Luck's just having a good year, you can flip him out and it won't be that big of a deal. And you've got good trade bait to get a good receiver, a good running back, etc.
And that's honestly how you should do with any sleeper.
Right? Yeah. So. That's definitely how you should treat it. You should pick a sleeper up. Once you have all your starters out, the way you should get your sleepers is somebody you pick them as your bench player basically.
It's 4th and 5th and later round picks. Maybe even later.
Later. Make sure you get all your starters before you start picking your sleepers.
I'd pick a sleeper running back and stuff like that before I pick tight end.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
That's why I kind of said 4th maybe.
That's
but
fair.
Honestly, you're looking 5th.
I think okay. So we can vaguely talk about draft strategy type stuff. Yeah. So because we're gonna live record us doing our fantasy draft, and we might have another person here doing with us. So we'll talk about what we're doing while we're picking these picks as we go. But we can give you a little. We'll probably do it before the draft starts. We'll give you a little strategy we're doing head in. But we can talk about what we want to do as of now before we finalize it.
Yeah. So you want to keep going with sleepers? I have a list.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Calvin Ridley is coming from Alabama. He's gonna have Matty Ice thrown to him. So I mean, he's definitely gonna be a number 2.
That will be good.
But I mean, he's a good he's
a number 2 for Julio Jones is good though because he'll get more targets than another number 2 without a great receiver.
And he's going to be on we talked about how high powered Atlanta's offense is already.
Right, yeah.
So if they're putting up 50 something points a game, I mean Calvin Ridley's going to get touches. Mm-hmm. He's going to catch the ball if you throw it to him. So he is noted. Another one, Atlanta, Christian Kirk. So he's from A&M. That's obviously why he's there. But he was a first-round pick, and deservedly. Larry Fitzgerald's really old. And, I mean, I don't know when Larry Fitzgerald's going to retire, but it's got to be coming up soon.
Yeah, he's been in the league forever.
Yeah. Christian Kirk is going to be a guy. He's a slot receiver. He's going to be a guy.
What school did he come from, Russell?
A&M already
said
that.
Man.
He's also going to be most likely doing kick returns. He was special teamer of the year, so you're going to get points from special teams too. That's a huge deal. I mean, that's free points.
Mhm.
And he's just going to get a lot of touches. He's going to be in the slot receiver. He kind of reminds me of like, I'm trying to think of Patriots receivers.
Wes Welker.
Wells Welker, yeah. But honestly, way more athletic than him.
Okay.
He's really athletic, crazy speed, super fast.
Wow.
You want to go Josh Gordon?
Josh Gordon is a solid sleeper because we don't know if he's actually going to play yet, so he could be sleeping during the games.
Yeah, so literally, like, if you're at the when people are picking, like, defenses and kickers, Josh Gordon, why not?
If you're trying to fill some bench spots and you want to pick somebody that might come out of nowhere, I mean, it's a good time to pick Josh Gordon.
He reported to practice, finally.
Yeah, he finally came back. He had his own internal issues he was dealing with himself and family and stuff, and he came back.
It's a very sketchy pick. Yeah. That's why he's a sleeper.
Sketchy pick. I would pick, if I had picked a Browns receiver, I would pick Jarvis Landry for him, for sure. And I wouldn't pick any other Browns receiver except for Josh Gordon if I wanted to, you know. I just can't think of anyone else.
Yeah.
But for me, receiver-wise, I have Sammy Watkins as a sleeper, okay? And I have him as a sleeper only because he fell off a lot of people's radars when he was over on the Bills because he just wasn't getting targeted a lot. It wasn't a good offense. There wasn't a lot of passes that were completed by Tyrod Taylor at the time. He wasn't good. And he's in Kansas City now. He's got a real quarterback in Alex Smith, and I feel like his outside speed is going to make a massive difference on that team. Like, it's going to open up their field a lot. Like, Alex Smith can throw downfield now, and Sammy Watkins can go there and get it. He's extremely fast. So he's a good sleeper. Like, he would be a good flex receiver, I think. And as the season goes on, he might turn into a number 2, a number 1 in some teams, depending on. You know, he might become good trade bait. So he's good to have at least on your bench just to have. It's like a commodity, a trade asset.
Yeah, so. Somebody that didn't draft receiver heavy.
Right. Or like they just start having a couple of crazy weeks or something, or injuries happen and like the need for him arises. Juju Smith-Schuster is probably.
I was gonna say him too.
Yeah. I don't know if he's a sleeper, but he's gonna be.
He's just outside top 10.
Yeah, he's gonna be a good. He's probably lower on radars than he should be. He's gonna get a lot of picks. The same reason you were saying with Calvin Ridley with Julio. The same thing with Antonio, but he's actually an established receiver in the NFL now. Yeah. Like Big Ben has already been thrown to him. It's already a thing. Another one would be. I'm going through a big list. Jordy Nelson's probably a sleeper. They have him at 48, and it's because he was hurt last season. He's on Oakland now.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a sleeper. He's just kind of like that guy that's outside of top 10. Julian Edelman, too.
Yeah. Tyler Lockett's probably going to be okay. He's a Seattle receiver.
Oh, my God.
Wilson might be targeting a lot.
Cole Beasley.
I don't know if he's a sleeper. He's the number 1 thing.
Yeah, but he's just not top 10.
Right.
I guess I'm also kind of naming people that are kind of like just outside top 10.
Okay. Martavius Bryant is a good pick. He's in Oakland as well. I think picking an Oakland receiver is a good idea. With Derek Carr, he's probably gonna have a comeback season. You know?
Oh wow. He's in Detroit. Oh no, I saw that, but like it was really close to Detroit.
Right.
I was like, what? Sanu's on there?
But yeah, Mohamed Sanu's a good pickup for the same reasons you were saying Calvin Ridley was. He's like the actual number 2, and then Calvin Ridley's probably a soft 3.
Yeah, I mean we don't know what Calvin Ridley is yet.
Right. Yeah, but like as of now. Yeah, receivers, as we were saying, are super deep. Like, Emmanuel Sanders is a number 28 for Denver, and he's like their top receiver.
They have Josh Gordon high.
Yeah, Josh Gordon is at number 22, or 21, but they have him as out. Alshon Jeffrey's a good pickup, as long as he's able to play. What about running backs?
I put Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb, why?
Because he's at Cleveland, so for obvious reasons, they're probably going to hand the ball off to him a lot.
Sure.
He's really good at Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I just think like I couldn't put him top 10 because I didn't know enough, but I do know enough that like he has the potential to be really good. So as you pick up a running back and it's later round, so he'll probably still be there. So it might not be an actual number 2 actually starting.
Yeah.
Because you got to put 2 running backs. You got to start 2 running backs, but.
For me, I think you need to pick up either Jamal Charles or Adrian Peterson while they're free agents still before a team claims them. And only because they are Jamal Charles and Adrian Peterson, name-wise. I think it'd be good to have them on their bench because there are those people in the league where they pick by name and they might want to trade you because you have Adrian Peterson. You know, they'll be like, oh my God,
yeah,
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're no slouches. They're not going to be as good as their prime, right? But, like, they're still decent flex players / number 2 running backs or something.
Yeah. Jamal Charles super injury prone. And then you always got like, what if no one picks him up?
Yeah, that's true. Doug Martin should be a good pick. He's in Oakland. He'll probably get a lot of touches because Marshawn Lynch is like he's gonna be Marshawn Lynch is probably number 1, but he's probably not gonna get as many touches as normal number 1 because he's old.
Foreman.
Deontay Foreman's a good pickup late. Latavius Murray for Minnesota is a good pickup late, just because Minnesota's a good team. They're probably going to need to run the ball. He's probably going to be a part of it. Nick Chubb's at 44.
Yeah. Oh, look. Rex Burkhead, 26. Oh,
the stud.
Duke Johnson, another Cleveland running back.
Yeah, Duke Johnson should be on people's radar. He's
always,
definitely a good running back. He's
always catching passes out of the backfield.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. Tight ends. What are there sleeper tight ends? I don't even think we should. Yeah,
talk about tight ends.
No, yeah, I don't. But yeah. That's pretty much it as far as sleepers go. Sleepers are going to exist more in the receiver running back area of the drafts.
Maybe
some quarterbacks, like
the rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah, there's going to be some rookie quarterbacks. Yeah, who are you thinking about?
I wouldn't pick up Jackson.
Why?
I think he's going to throw a lot of picks. And I think he actually might get hurt running around.
Well, he's the backup for Joe Flacco. So he might not even play.
I'm trying to think. Obviously,
Josh Rosen's something you should pay attention to. Baker Mayfield.
Baker's going to start.
Sam Darnold is probably starting for the Jets,
but
that's questionable.
Sam's going to throw a lot of picks. He did it in college, and it's the NFL.
Who else we got?
Mitch Trubisky.
Mitch Trubisky's
sophomore year.
Yeah, solid. Jameis Winston's a solid pickup for a backup quarterback, only because he's suspended, so people probably won't touch him early. So if you want a good, pick that up. Jared Goff, you should probably stay away from in fantasy at least. He's not a bad quarterback in real life, but in fantasy he's not great, unless he has a crazy season, But yeah, quarterbacks are pretty straightforward. Like, the quarterbacks you think are good in real life are probably good in fantasy because that's pretty much, like, those stats go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yards. But yeah, so as far as sleepers go, I think that's pretty much...
Yeah, we pretty much covered it, yeah.
I guess we can briefly go over, what are some things you're thinking about ahead of time of the draft that you're going to make sure you do during the draft? So, are you... consciously making an effort to pick certain positions at this point in time, or?
I'm probably gonna go. It really depends where you are, though.
Right. Let's say we are both picking from a 12-man league at number 6.
Receiver. I'd go receiver heavy. I might even go first 2 rounds receiver. Then third round. It depends on what's there. Second round. If somebody that on my receiver list is there, I'd probably get them over my running back list. So theoretically, I'm just assuming my draft goes perfect. I would go receiver, running back.
Okay, so mine's gonna be a little different. So if we're picking from 6th spot, and let's pretend that no running back's been taken off the board, like it's all been receivers. If that's the case, I'm probably taking Todd Gurley.
At 2 or 1?
What do you mean?
Is this your first round?
Yeah, first round. Like, if the first round's happening and, somebody picked up Le'Veon Bell. Well, no. I put Todd Gurley above Le'Veon Bell. So if somebody's, taken my first 5 receivers I would take, so if, Antonio Brown, Hopkins, Beckham, Jones, and Michael Thomas are all gone, an assortment or various degrees of that, I'd probably take Todd Gurley. Yeah. And I would probably go as far to take Todd Gurley if I was picking number 3. I would pick him as high as number 3, only because I think he's going to get a lot of touchdowns, and I think he's going to get a lot of touches. He is the main horse of that whole offense.
Okay. Who, if you got the gift of being the very first pick?
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown?
Not even a hesitation. You pick Antonio Brown every time, in my opinion. Well, I guess it's interchangeable between him and DeAndre Hopkins and Odell Beckham. All 3 of those could make a solid argument at number 1. I wouldn't be able to argue with you if you took any of them. But for me, Antonio Brown, easy.
Hopkins.
Yeah. See, as long as you're taking one of those three as a number 1 or number 2 pick, like number 2 becomes different. It opens up a little more. You can take a running back. Like if you're a Le'Veon Bell fan and Antonio Brown's gone, you can take a Le'Veon Bell. That's perfectly fine.
I think though, say if me and Caleb aren't first round picks and somebody else is, I think Le'Veon Bell would probably go first in our league.
It depends on who it is in the league, honestly. Because if it's someone dumb, then yes. But if it's like Kirby or somebody smart, they'll take a receiver because we're in PPR.
Yep.
And they're smart. Like you should take a receiver if you can. If you don't think. Like,
Well, didn't you just say you were going to take Todd Gurley first round?
Well, yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like,
Okay.
unless you have something that trumps that, like, I think Todd Gurley, like, is just that good. Like, I don't know. I'm all over him. I love Todd Gurley. He is the new Adrian Peterson to me. You know, like, he is the guy. I think he's just too elite to not take in a top 5 if you can.
Yeah.
And what I mean by if you can is if your top 3, like, if you're, God, I know I'm over-explaining this, but, like, yeah, Todd Gurley, if Antonio Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Odell are gone, I'm taking Todd Gurley probably, unless I'm just feeling it, you know? It's kind of like in the mood. I don't know. But number 1 pick, definitely Antonio Brown.
I'll probably go Justin Tucker and then start drafting my receivers.
Okay.
That should be your strategy, is draft a kicker first.
So, who would you want as your number 2 receiver? So, like, let's say you get your primary number 1, like you get somebody reasonable. Let's say you get Odell. Who would you want as your number 2? Like, if you had,
I get Odell as my first receiver?
yeah, sure, why not?
I mean, he's my third. But so then
No, I mean, like you got to pick Odell. You know, like.
Okay, is everyone still on the board?
We'll go.
Because if everyone's still
Okay,
on the
let's
board,
say you
I'm
had
DeAndre Hopkins.
No,
that was kind of
fair.
dumb.
No. That was stupid. Okay, I meant like.
Say if I got DeAndre Hopkins first round.
So okay, if you get first pick, who would it be?
Hopkins.
Okay, so if you had in the second round when you're picking again, who is your next receiver? Like, let's say.
Tell me, people are gone though.
Yeah, people are gone. Like the top 7 are gone. Top 7 receivers are gone.
In my list. Okay,
Yeah,
so
just like top 7 in general are gone.
1, 2. I would. I think
Like,
I might actually go. It'd be between Mike Evans or Jarvis Landry.
Basically, what I'm asking is who would you pick up as your number 2 receiver in the second round? Because you were saying you would go receiver, running back.
Mhm.
So, like, who's your
So,
ideal situation?
My top 7's gone. I would either go Mike Evans, Jarvis Landry. I'd probably sit on it because I'm thinking Mike Evans is gonna have crap ton of touchdowns.
Sure.
He's a massive human, and then you got the stat of Jarvis Landry getting the most receptions last year.
Right.
So Jameis, probably. I mean, he's an established quarterback. I might go Mike Evans. You're getting is Tyrod Taylor start?
He's in Cleveland, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be the quarterback. So that's all I have to say about that.
I think if man, okay, so like in the first round, let's say I picked Todd Gurley. Like in the second round, I would have to get a receiver. So
So you have these 3.
yeah, like I'd be okay with getting like Adam Thielen as a number 1 receiver. I'd be okay with getting Devontae Adams. I'd be okay with getting. I feel like AJ Green's going to be on the board longer than he should be.
Yep.
For some reason, I got that feeling, and it's because of all the other receivers that have stepped up. But like Doug Baldwin is a good number 2 receiver if I need to pick him up late. Like there's plenty of options. Like Stephon Diggs will probably be on the board still. Probably pick him up. Demaryius Thomas for Denver is really good. Like there's literally so many options. Like it's really hard to go wrong.
Juju.
Yeah, like Juju's. Like
Yeah.
there's so many. Like the number 1s and 2s on the majority of the teams in the NFL are pretty good right now. They're pretty good. So yeah, we're running on a super long video right now. So is there
Really
any?
a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to break this up. So are there any last remarks you want to make? Is there any last sleepers you want to declare? Dark horse to be a point leader in some random category or something?
Nah, I had a list on my phone and I told y'all like all the sleepers. So I don't really got any more.
You just doxed your girlfriend. They saw who she was. Rip. Sorry, Kirsty. Damn.
Is that where we're ending the video?
That was gonna.
later, guys.
Yeah, but basically, I'm gonna try. This will probably be in 2 parts. I'll probably do like receivers, running backs, and then just do the rest on one because tight ends was so short.
Yeah. I mean, when I picked my phone up, I thought it was gonna be the list, but see, here's the list.
You can't see that.
You can't even see it. It's just too bright.
Yeah, that was. I don't know why they thought that would work.
We can cut it all out because this is a long video.
No, this feels like it should be in the video.
If the beginning should be in our video. If
This will be
is
the
gonna
beginning.
stay in.
This is gonna be the beginning.
Okay, I'm fine with that. The beginning was hilarious, but y'all probably won't see it.
Okay, so basically, I'll probably do this in 2 parts, like I did the superhero stuff, which I really liked. I like doing the comic stuff. We're gonna have to do that comic book stuff again.
I'm gonna have to become way more prepared. Almost finished The Flash, which I think is so.
Okay, we're not gonna talk about this.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
a totally different topic.
We'll talk about this off air.
Yeah, we'll record another conversation. We'll like update. I plan on doing a lot more podcasts. Like
The next podcast will probably be the draft, right?
Yeah, the draft is on Saturday. Today is Monday, so on the 25th, expect something to happen, or the next day probably. So like this weekend, expect something this weekend. But yeah, we'll try and do a live podcast. I think Devin Bertrand's gonna come.
I haven't asked him yet, but
Chill.
he wants to draft together, so I mean, he probably won't care.
We'll probably just chill. We're literally in the back room of my house, so it's like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it. I don't know what I'm looking back there for. It's been the Bozo and Beard experience, and it sure has been an experience.
All right, signing out.